Hello there, welcome to the official, I think this is the second long form video I have had on my channel. I mean, if you've seen the first one, you will see how much of a shambles it is, and you'll probably realise why I don't do long form and why Connor kind of like takes the lead on our main channel. He does all the editing and most of the filming, to be honest. I'm just kind of there like, hello, and I've already dropped something. Yeah, we're gonna do a birth Q&A, and I think the reason I really wanted to do this is we all know I've got no friends. It's no secret. I've got no friends. I've got Connor and I've got my family. I've kind of like spoke to Connor about everything that's happened. It genuinely helps me so much to be able to speak about what happened, and it kind of makes it easier for me, if that makes sense. So the first couple of weeks when I came back from the hospital, almost every night I was suffering with panic attacks, because in the night I would start thinking about stuff. So for example, you read up on all these things that, oh, if this happens then phone the hospital to make sure that this isn't happening, or if your legs start to tingle it could be a complication. Every night, I don't know why it was night, I think it could be because I've got astigmatism, which is like, one of my eyes is like, actually I've got it in both, but one more than the other, is kind of like shaped like a rugby ball rather than a football. I can't deal with certain lightings and stuff, so like dim light, and I think that had a massive part in it. So when it became nighttime, I used to start panicking. I'd be like, oh my goodness, Babby, my leg feels numb, and then I'd start, you know, hyperventilating, needing to take deep breaths, having to go outside. I was getting warm. So there was a lot of that going on, or anytime there was a lot of blood coming out in the toilet, I would start panicking, like, is this normal? I feel like speaking about it more, especially speaking to a lot of you guys about it, a lot of you have experienced the same thing, has given me a lot of peace of mind. I've just literally been sat here doing this to my face the whole time. I'm gonna do my makeup while I do it because, you know, daddy is watching baby while I do this, so I thought, kill two birds with one stone. I can get ready. I don't get time to get ready often, so. How did you feel when you went into labour? Were you excited or were you nervous? I think I was a bit of both. I think I thought I was in labour for a lot longer than I was, because I kept getting like loads of random pains. I was all like, oh, I've got back pain. Am I in labour? Oh, I've got a tummy ache. Does that mean I'm going into labour? Oh, I've had a sloppy poo. But after I'd had the sweet, that's when it was like, oh, okay, something's happening. Something is happening. And honestly, it was quite exciting. I don't think I ever sat there to begin with when I was literally just in the house going through like this process of contractions. At no point did I think, oh, I'm scared to like have to push this baby out. I think I was quite calm and yeah, definitely excited because I'd waited so long to see my baby boy. Like I was already almost 2 weeks overdue, so I was just like, I am ready. What was the most terrifying? What seems terrifying but isn't, and what doesn't seem terrifying but is? Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I think the most terrifying for me was when the doctor said we're gonna have to go for an emergency C-section. I was like, sorry? Or maybe when he told me I was losing lots of blood. No, because I think by the time they told me that, I was just so out of it. So I think when he said you're going for the emergency C-section, for me personally, I don't think it would be the same for everyone, but for me personally, I was like, because I had my low platelets and I just went into cry mode. I was like, no, I didn't want this. What doesn't seem terrifying but is? I don't know. I don't think I have an answer for that one because I think birth is just a lot of uncertainty. Did you kind of predict that you'd have to go into hospital, or was it completely unexpected? I had a feeling. I did have a feeling. I was like, something tells me that I'm gonna have to go to hospital, and I felt this for like months coming up to my due date. I was like, I have a feeling that we're not gonna get this home birth. In my gut, I kind of knew. I even said to my midwife, I remember saying, I was like, I haven't got my hopes up for this home birth because I know that anything can happen, and if you don't have your hopes up, you can't be disappointed, you know? And you know what? I was always saying, I don't know if it's because my only experience with hospital, I've had barely any experience with hospitals. I've been very, very blessed. So I think my experience with hospitals was very kind of like unknown. So the whole like, I don't really like hospitals, I think was mainly because I'd never really been in one. My whole hospital experience was amazing. Doctors were amazing, the midwives were amazing. Couldn't have asked for a better experience, except for the heat wave, but obviously that can't be helped. If you could do one thing differently, what would you do? I always think if we'd have gone for that growth scan that we were talking about going for, would they have been able to tell that baby was going to be so big? But then again, I think about it, I could have given birth to him normally had he have not lifted his chin on the way out. So it's just one of them, should I have done this, should I have done that, what happened, and how has it impacted your mental health the way your birth didn't go to plan? When I was living with Connor in his mum's house, he had bed bugs and I was getting bit every night and I didn't know what was causing. I had like an allergic reaction all over my body and we didn't know what was causing it for weeks. So for literally like 2 weeks I was getting bit by bed bugs. They were draining me because Connor had like a camping pillow under the bed. It was one of the beds that lift and the bugs were like crawling up and they were eating me in the night, and they actually triggered my anxiety, my panic attacks, which I didn't even know was a thing, because straight after that I started having panic attacks. I thought I was having a stroke one night because I had a trapped nerve and I went into full panic attack mode. So ever since then, I've got pretty bad anxiety in weird lighting, or if there's too many people. Sometimes I get it randomly in the car when it's dark. So when I came back from the hospital, obviously, like I said, I started having panic attacks in the night just through overthinking things, thinking that, you know, it was my time. Which is why I mentioned that I was so shocked that I didn't start panicking in the hospital. I was so shocked. Your body just takes over and it's madness what your brain does. It's like, my baby's here, my baby's fine, so you need to relax and just let them do what they need to do. How long did your birth take? So I had the sweep on the Wednesday at like, I think it was like 10:30 in the morning, and then straight after I'd had the sweep I started going into labour very, very slowly, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse. If you watch the birth video then you'll pretty much see most of that. And then I got the midwife out that night because the contractions got pretty bad. I was struggling, but I wasn't getting them close enough together. And then she went home. She was like, just carry on doing what you're doing here. I didn't sleep because I could not sleep through the, I think I got an hour's sleep the whole 2 days because I couldn't sleep through the contractions. So when I had a break of like 10 minutes, I'd fall asleep for 10 minutes, and I'd wake up to a contraction, fall asleep for 10 minutes, wake up to a contraction, and I got about an hour in total. But obviously because Connor was so concerned, he didn't sleep either. He was just, every time I woke up with a contraction, I'm on the end of the bed going he was just so concerned that he wouldn't even nap, he wouldn't dare nap. I called my midwife out again on the Thursday night. It wasn't Thursday night, it was Friday morning in the AM. So I'd been labouring at home all Wednesday, all Thursday, and then in the AM on Friday got the midwife out, and obviously she came to check me because I was having 4-minute long contractions. I was getting like a bigger break in between them. I was getting like 6 minutes in between every contraction, but I was contracting 4 minutes straight, which isn't normal. 4 minutes straight. And then obviously she was like, we need to go hospital. So we went hospital, and then I was labouring in hospital until, well, an all day Friday. And then it didn't seem like all day Friday because we got at the hospital at 4 AM, and then I had a nap. They let me have a little bit of a nap, and then I got woke up at like 8 AM I think to go and start labouring. They induced me, and then I was literally labouring all day, and baby was born 10:58. So I had laboured for 3 whole days. And let me tell you, that gas and air, I was so excited for the gas and air. I was like, give me the gas and air, I need it. But if I could explain to you gas and air, it would be, it doesn't help the pain, but it gets you high at the same time. It's there to help regulate your breathing, because I was so tired at one point, literally doing this for 3 days, because I was so high, in between my contractions, I was getting knocked out. 4-minute contraction, gone. Are you going to have another child in the future after this experience? But you have to think that I am answering this as someone who experienced this only 3 weeks ago. Would I give you the same answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line? I don't know, because they do say that you kind of forget everything in terms of like how you felt, the pain, the contractions. You kind of forget all of that, which is true. I feel like I wouldn't be able to explain to you what I felt, because you do forget. It's madness, it's crazy. As of right now, am I scared to have more children? Yes. Am I saying that I'll never have children ever again? No. It's too soon to even think about it. You know, our plan of having another child in a year's time is probably out the window, but I'm not completely shutting the door to more children. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst pain ever, how much did it hurt? I think the worst part of it was how long I had to endure the pain. Contractions wise, the pain was like a 7. But because I was doing it for so long, 4 minutes at a time, every single time I had a contraction, I think that's what made it unbearable. It was just over and over and over again for 3 days straight. But the pain itself it's bearable. It's definitely not a 10. And then the C-section, obviously I was numb from the chest down, didn't feel a thing. You kind of feel like a tugging sensation. It's kind of like half of your body turns into a really heavy silicone doll. That's how I would explain it personally. And then obviously when they were pumping my stomach to get the clots out, I was still completely numb, so I didn't feel any of that at all. The recovery pain wasn't excruciating, but it was kind of like you couldn't do anything because you just couldn't. I could barely get to the toilet the first couple of days. It was just long. What's it like to have a C-section? I feel like I've answered it. The recovery is definitely the worst part of it. It's also really horrible because I felt like Connor was doing everything for the first couple of weeks because I couldn't bend down, I couldn't pick baby up. Connor was doing a lot of the work and I just felt so guilty, and he was also having to look after me. So that's the worst part of it, I would say. Not so much actually going for the C-section. After the birth, did baby need to go on anything because of his position? Baby came out completely healthy, nothing wrong with baby at all. The only thing they had to do was, because he was such a big baby, every now and then they would take baby and just check him over. Advice for a first-time mum: I'm currently 8 weeks and I've never felt so scared. The only advice I can give is trust yourself. I was so nervous. I was thinking, do I have everything? I don't even know how to look after a baby. What am I gonna do? And honestly, you pick it up like that. That's what I've had to learn, kind of, especially being on here and speaking very openly about everything that's happened and having a baby and new life with a baby. Even if you're not on social media, you get so many unwanted opinions about how to look after your child, that you shouldn't pick them up when they cry, you should let them cry, and that, oh, I'm feeding them wrong, this, that and the other. So it's just about trusting yourself. You will honestly just pick it up like that. Would you still want a home birth next time? If I did decide to have another baby, I don't think I would try. I don't even think I'd bother with the home birth, because again though, I'm saying this as someone, you know, 3 weeks after what has happened. So will I change my mind? Maybe. But I think obviously we had such a big baby. My sister had to have an emergency C-section because she had a really big baby as well. I don't think I'd chance it again, and I think they'd keep an eye on me, and I think they'd probably induce me just in case I had another big baby again. I would absolutely love to have a home birth. I think logically the next birth would be in hospital, if there is ever to be one. Honestly, looking back on it now, I think we were supposed to have this experience, and it sounds so weird, but we are like big believers of everything happens for a reason, and I think we were supposed to have this experience to show the harsh reality of not every single birth can be pre-labor C's and fairy lights and relaxed music, dancing. Birth is just so unpredictable, and I think we're meant to experience this to kind of show that. And the amount of heartfelt messages I've received afterwards has been like, I'm lost for words. I've never experienced anything like it, where I'm getting messages of people who have had the same experience and they've explained to me their situation and what they had to go through, and just the love has been amazing, and I can't thank every single one of you enough. I always say that I wish I could thank every single one of you personally, but it's just physically impossible, and I've never known, even as someone who kind of like, I love watching people, I love indulging in other people's videos and other YouTubers, this, that and the other, but I've never known, maybe I've just missed it, but I've never known such a loving and supportive community. You're all people who support us, and that's crazy to think of. So I just want to say thank you so much. To think that I was kind of like accidentally placed here, because I kind of always wanted to do social media, but I never actually took it seriously, and I kind of started TikTok for fun, and then I met Connor, and then, you know, my social media was doing really well and we were doing well as a couple, and then to kind of end up here, whereas, you know, Connor's been doing social media since he was like, I want to say like 12, if not younger. He's been chasing his dream of being a content creator, and then the fact that I was just accidentally placed here and have built such an amazing audience is madness. I'm just, sorry. You know what? I'm just rambling now. I'm gonna stop myself there because I can ramble all day. You should see some of the footage that Connor has to cut out when we do a YouTube video because I can just talk for days. But thank you. Just thank you. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna stop there. Otherwise, I'm gonna start going on a rampage about something else. Bye, love you millions.